Mr. Shane Nugent. How are you this afternoon?
Oh, I'm great, Rex. Great. Appreciate you.
Well, yeah, and so I don't know if you kind of remember from the previous shows, but we'll sit here and kind of get things going a little bit, jibber jabber for a few minutes, and then we'll go to a countdown and come back into the show, a couple of minute countdown, and that lets people get the Facebook notifications. The prime time is like 8 minutes into the show, and we're not going to drag it out that long. But anyway, just and for those, look, we've already got 6 or 7 people joining us. For everybody that's joining, we're going to sit here and talk for just a minute or two. We'll go to a countdown and then come back. But you were talking about the background noise from the little refrigerator picking up in the mic.
Yes, sir.
I have to do these live shows with my air conditioner turned off out here in my man cave. I've got a window unit that's not the quietest thing in the world, so I try to get my office real cold, and then I can turn it off and hope the cold lasts through the end of the show before I start sweating. So anyway,
There you go.
yeah, just one of those little technical things. We got about 7 or 8 people watching, folks. Those of you that have joined in, again, feel free to comment, and more importantly, tag friends on Facebook, send them a text message, call them, say, hey, they're on live. They're going to be talking about the junior league stuff that might be important, and let folks know to come on and join in. So, how was your day today, Shane? I mean, did you get anything accomplished today, or were you like me running around like a madman, or what?
Man, it was a great day. I did something for the very first time. I got invited by Charlie Nichols to help out with a thing called Dream Hunt Foundation. But actually, instead of hunting, this is a spiritual organization that actually takes handicapped children on hunting events. But this month, they're actually taking the special education students in the Caddo Parish schools to on a fishing excursion over at a private lake in Shreveport. And man, it was a blessing. It was awesome to
Hmm.
see some kids never have caught a fish before. And we were able to fish with these kiddos off of a big, huge, fancy dock. I was able to be with one of the little second grade boys, and he had never caught a fish before. And he was able to catch two little brim, good sized brim.
Wow.
Uh, and that was a lot of fun. They feed them lunch, and it's this is their field trip of the year
Hmm.
for the special education students in Caddo Parish. Man, it was a great event.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good deal to have joined in on, and glad you got the opportunity to go do that. Okay, so we've got about 10 or 11 folks watching. Folks, we appreciate every one of you that's watching. Feel free to sound off in the comments. I've got a chat window up here somewhere it's supposed to be that lets me see the comments. Anyway, I'll have to locate that. All right, so let's go ahead and Shane, we'll do our countdown. That's about 2.5 minutes, folks. You'll see a countdown screen. That gives you time to go get a glass of sweet tea or whatever it is you like to drink. Maybe make some popcorn. Again, call or text or tag some of the other teams that you know and might be friends with. Let them know we're on live, and that way, if they have any questions, they can join in. So we'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right. Let's see if I can get us back on screen. There we go. I got to be a little quicker on the trigger there. Kind of like my frog fishing Saturday. I apparently wasn't fast enough on the trigger, but that's a whole other story. So it looks like we've got your good buddy and my good buddy, and well, he's good buddies with a lot of folks. Mr. Charlie Nichols has commented.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm going to put this up on the screen here. He says, big thanks to Jeff Warren for inviting us to get involved in the Dream Hunt Foundation and taking these kids fishing, which is what we were talking about before the countdown. So,
Yes, it was
cool deal. All right, let's go ahead and let's start off. And of course, we got a bunch of topics to talk about. So the way that we'll do this is, I think, will work out best. Let's talk about the morning stuff, and then we got a video that we're going to roll, and then we'll come back and we'll continue from there. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right, so I guess hello there, Jake Weaver. So first thing we need to figure out is, all right, so how folks need to get to Toledo Bend. Now, I understand, folks, a lot of you probably have fished Toledo Bend, but we have to kind of assume there are certain teams that have or have not, ever fished Toledo Bend. So pretty much, obviously, you can use Google Maps or Apple Maps will get you right down there to it. So I'm going to go ahead and let me pull up one of the first screens here. It'll take me just a second. And let's see here. We'll go into that screen. And you have disappeared, Shane. Hold on, let me get you back on the screen. We went through all this before we started, and somehow I missed this screen. Hold on, I'll get you back up there. Okay, there we go.
All good.
All right, so of course this first one is the rules and the fees, but and we'll get to that too. But what we're interested in at the moment is, let's see, this is a trailering event, and so that means that they can put in at any publicly accessible ramp. Is that correct?
That is correct. After they have gone through the morning boat check.
Okay. And so that segues perfectly into, well, how are the morning boat checks going to be handled? So, again, correct me anywhere that I'm wrong. There's going to be 2 check-in locations. One will be at the Oak Ridge SRA, formerly known as the Circle Drive ramp for us old schoolers. But that's the Oak Ridge SRA. You can put that in your Google Maps or Apple Maps, and it will take you to it. And we're going to show a map of it here in a second as well. The second location is going to be where, Shane? Where's the second boat check location for the morning?
Yes, sir. It's going to be at the Market Basket there at Toledo Town. It's the grocery store just on beside the Toledo Tackle there, and right across the street from the Toledo Town Inn, the hotel there. So there'll be it's a big parking lot there. Obviously, at 5 in the morning, the grocery store will be closed. But we will have folks checking in. That's about mid-lake, and so we're trying to be courteous and considerate for those who are maybe fishing north and those who are kind of mid-lake. That's why we're trying to give 2 locations.
Yeah, and just so folks know, in the tournament info sheet that we posted on the Junior League Facebook page and in the GroupMe chat for the coaches, if you put the address in at 12054 Texas Highway, Manny, Louisiana, it should pull up Market Basket. If you just put Market Basket Manny, it should pull it up right there as well. All right.
Yeah.
Now, and so for the folks who have done boat checks in parking lots previously or done it last year, and for those who haven't, you're going to turn into the parking lot. It'll be obvious. There will be a couple of us, whoever it's going to be there, usually have flashlights or phone lights. And you're going to come in and get your, make sure you have your live well lights plugged in and working, live well lids open, life jacket on. You'll get checked. Now, what are we doing about boat numbers this year?
Yes, sir. So since we're going to be at 2 locations, we're not going to give out the boat floats that we normally give out. They're going to just tell us their boat number, and we're going to have someone check in their boat team number. And we're going to have someone checking that off on a paper check-in, which is going to be critical because when they come back to the check-in at the end of the day, they're not going to have a boat float, but they still have to come to that check-in and check. We have to know they're going to be off the water, which I know that's at the check-in, at the end of the day. But In the morning, they're going to pull up. They're going to have those things ready, like you just said, Rex, and they're going to tell us their boat number. And someone's going to call out their names to confirm it's the right team, put a check mark by their name, and at that point, they're checked in.
Okay, and for those of you that don't know your boat number, I'm not going to sit here and let everybody write theirs down, but it is in the tournament info that we released and posted on the Facebook page and in the GroupMe chat, again, for the coaches that are in the GroupMe. So if you don't know your boat number, you can go to the Facebook page, to the Junior League Facebook page, scroll down, look for the post, and again, we have that listed so you'll see your boat number. It just makes it a whole lot easier if you know that boat number when you come up there to check in early in the morning, as well as when you come in for weigh-in, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, Rex, one thing on the morning check-in that I know at the high school level, when they were at Toledo Bend, someone forgot this, and it actually kind of caused some headache. After you've checked in, the boat's been checked, you've given us our number, we say you're good to go, you're going to pull up out of the way a little ways, and then you're going to have your students need to put those life jackets back into a compartment, because if you just take off and the life jackets are on your front deck, they're going to fly out of your boat, and when you get to your launch, you're not going to have life jackets. And so make sure once you've checked in that you pull on up so we can continue the line, pull over to the side, and put all of your life jackets and everything back up if you need to before you proceed on the highway.
Yeah, I think the best deal is treat it just like you're at the boat ramp, loading your boat, fixing to put your boat in the water, pulling your boat out, pull up, move out of the way, out of everybody else's way, get your stuff packed down, make your way to the water, launch your boat. So same type of procedure, right?
Yeah. Your students in the boat. The students need to be doing all of this. They can put the lights in. They can grab the life jackets out and make sure the live wells are open. The students can do all that. That way the parent can continue to move the line forward.
Yes.
And please have that ready when you get to the check-in area.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So again, we did say it was a trailering event. Now,
yeah, on the times for the check-in race, we have that right above there, but it starts at 5 a.m. at both locations, and it goes until first cast, which is 6:15. So after 6:15, if you show up at Market Basket at 6:30, no one's going to be there, and so you're not going to be able to check in for this tournament. So if you're running late and you have a flat tire or something like that happens on the way that morning, please make sure you contact me or Charlie or your coach or somebody to make sure that, and we'll be looking for you to be a little late. But if you just show up late after 6:15 and we don't know anything about being late, then you're not going to be registered for this tournament.
Okay, very, very good safety point there. All right, so the next thing I want to do is, so again, that's at the Market Basket location. So let me switch screens here. And this is going to be at the Oak Ridge SRA Park, which is also where the weigh-in is. So we've got a morning boat check on the north end of the lake, all right? And for those of you that are not familiar, basically you're going to be on 191, and there's a turnoff location. Your Google Maps or your Apple Maps will direct you to it. And there is a sign there that says Oak Ridge SRA. And you're going to turn down. I know it's probably kind of hard to see in my screen here. Let me see if I can put my little pointer here. But basically, you're going to turn at the intersection of 191 and it's still called Circle Drive, the actual road going in there. So you're going to turn in right here. I can't do a cute little, Google Street View deal on this one on Circle Drive. But anyway, and you're going to drive down to the end of it. And when you get to the end, sometimes it's a little confusing, but if you just kind of watch the signs, but as you come down the road, you're going to make your way, and it actually has like a 90-degree turn and a couple of curves, so drive carefully. But when you get down here, there's kind of a little bit of a four-way. You're just going to make your way to the right. Again, there's a sign there, and drive on into the park, and you will see the parking lot and the boat ramp down there.
Yes.
All right. And so the check-in's going to be right here in the parking lot. So you'll be able to come in and, see one of us, same drill with lights, life jackets, the whole 9 yards. And then you'll be able to make your circle and then drive on out if you plan on fishing the north end of the lake.
Yes. Or you can be able to launch there if you're going to launch there. That's correct.
Sure. Yeah. There's a launch right there. And for those of you that aren't familiar with it, again, Circle Drive or Oak Ridge is way up on the north end of the lake. So I'm going to zoom way back out here, and you can see it's way up on the north end, but it's easy to get to. And if you're planning on fishing up there, I got to say, fishing up there is kind of like fishing on some of the lakes around here. You know, it's not necessarily the big open water that we all hear about with Toledo Bend, in case this is your first time fishing down there. And there's some pretty good fish you can catch up there.
Amen.
Okay, let me flip screens here. And so we talked about launching. Again, it's, launch anywhere that's publicly accessible. If you have a private boat ramp, I don't think we allow that. Do we?
Necessarily. I mean, unless you're staying on the water at like a camp or something.
Yeah, camp has a ramp or something like that.
Different. But yeah, if it's, as long as it's on Toledo Bend, you should be good.
Okay. All right. So let me. I was going to try to put a little checkbox here, and let's see if There we go. All right. So we know we covered that. We did talk about boat numbers and how we're going to handle that. Let's see here. Let me go down the list here. And folks, if y'all have any questions, as a matter of fact, we do. So let me add this to the broadcast. It says, can a team come by boat to the check-in at Circle Drive?
Yes, I actually had one of our coaches ask that question, and here's how I responded to that question already. If you are staying right there close to Circle Drive, right around the corner or whatever the case may be, and we're okay with coming by water. However, I'm not sure how many people that I'm going to have to help me with the morning check-in that morning at Oak Ridge. And so if I'm slammed and there's cars backed up in the parking lot, and I don't have someone available to go down and check your boat, you're going to have to just wait until I get freed up to have a moment to run down there. That's the downfall. But hopefully we'll have enough help. Speaking of that, if there's anybody that is going to be down there that's not boat captaining, we would welcome your help. We would love to have your help, especially with us having 2 locations. So you can come by water if you're staying close. We do not suggest that you run all the way across that lake at 4:30 in the morning in the dark. I don't suggest that. It's not safe. So if you're coming from the Texas side, I would suggest that you drive around. But if you're staying right there around Circle Drive and you really don't even have to get on a plane to come around the corner to us, we can manage that. I just can't promise you how quickly we're going to get your boat checked in.
Well, good answer. And very good question. Thank you, Francie and David Woods. Appreciate the question. All right. So let's see. So that pretty much covers the morning. First cast or lines in is 6:15, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so that is going by cell phone time because everybody's is pretty much going to be the same or should be exactly the same. So 6:15 will be first cast no matter what time, you get there, whatever. All right. Anything else that we really need to address as far as the morning check-in? I mean, that pretty much, I think we covered most of it. Boat numbers, Know your boat number, we'll check it off. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you again. Future mayor of Bossier, Jeremy Goldman. Inside joke, but so we've covered that. We've covered the Market Basket grocery store. Again, the address, in case you've never been down there, the address is on the stuff that we posted on the Facebook page. You can plug it into your phone, locate it real easy. It's right there, a couple hundred yards from Toledo town. We covered Circle Drive or Oak Ridge, so that's pretty easy to get to. If you happen to get turned around, call or text one of us. We'll get you there, but it pulls up in the maps pretty easy as long as you put in Oak Ridge SRA. What else do we need to cover before we move into the weigh-in and all of that?
Well, I just want to say this, Rex. We normally are not in favor of a trailering event. This would be the only tournament of the year that we do a trailering event, and it's primarily because Toledo Bend is so big. I mean, it's 70 miles long and however many miles wide. So our suggestion is, man, we want you to drive your vehicle as close to the area that you're planning on fishing. And that's the whole purpose. It's a safety thing more than anything of why we're allowing you to trailer. And so we don't want you to launch at, on the Louisiana side and then go all the way across the lake to the Texas side when you can drive your vehicle around there, because we never know with the wind. The wind is the primary danger on Toledo Bend because it gets so windy very quickly. And so as you see, the wind is there posted 10 to 15 miles an hour. You say that don't sound like much, but on Toledo Bend, miles an hour is a lot. And so
Yeah.
it's launch in the general area that you're going to fish if all possible.
Yeah, and of course, the normal safety rules, if the big engine is cranked and running, even idling, life jackets must be on and fastened.
Absolutely.
And the anglers need to be in the seated positions as recommended by the boat manufacturer, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and take a few minutes and let's watch our video that we did earlier today. Then we'll come back in and we will continue on with minimum length and how the weigh-in will work. Sound good?
Just video, guys, this is a sponsor highlight. And we'd like to do this at least every time we do a show. And so this sponsor highlight, as you're going to see, is going to be Bayou Outdoor Power Sports, and we greatly appreciate them.
Yeah, so we'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, I'm Shane Nugent with North Louisiana Junior Fishing League. We're here at Bayou Outdoor Power Sports, one of our main sponsors this year with our Junior League. They're our presenting sponsor. We can't thank them enough. They are a tremendous blessing to our league and allow us to do great things for our young anglers. Today, we're just doing a sponsor highlight, and we're here at Bayou to do that as well. So with me, we have their sales manager, Joe Gates. And man, thank you for your time. Thank you for everything y'all do.
Very glad to be asked.
Let me just say, when we come to Bayou, man, y'all have boats from the 80,000 to 100,000 all the way down. And I was sharing with you, yesterday and today with our junior league, man, a lot of these guys are in 5th through 8th grade. They're just getting started with fishing. Man, they tell dad they want to start on the fishing team, and dad's like, I don't have a boat.
Sure.
And boats, they immediately think, I can't go spend $50,000 to $80,000. And so what would you say to a dad or to a mom, or mainly mom, because dad has to get mom to approve of this. So what would you say to the parents of the 5th grade student who says, man, I want to fish? What would you say to them about, maybe we do offer some boats that maybe aren't those high end?
Sure. Well, first of all, there's perception in the boat business that everything is 70, 80, 90, 100,000. Yes, there are those boats in that price range, but those are actually really, really hard to get these days, and we don't get many of them, and that's not our bread and butter. Our bread and butter starts at a used boat that's $4,000. So in other words, if to answer your question, a used boat is a great purchase, because if the family is just getting into fishing, they're thinking we're going to like it, they may thinking they're going to love it. Sometimes though, they get in it and it just sits out there under the carport and wasn't the best decision made, and so if they're not really invested deeply, then they can move that boat and not lose a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And boats right now that are used are in high demand, but if they want new with all the warranties, which we certainly have, we strive to get the entry-level boat, meaning it's still going to have a trolling motor, still going to have 50 horse or bigger, it's still going to be 100 gauge all welded aluminum or fiberglass, and it's going to have lights on the trailer. It's going to be ready to go fishing, and they're going to have nice live wells, good seating, and so all these tournaments. And you talk about us being a sponsor of y'all. Y'all are a sponsor for us, because the best thing that ever happened to the boat business is junior league fishing, high school fishing. I mean, that's the future of fishing. A lot of the people, yes, a lot of the adults that are out in their career working, you think, well, those are the people that can afford and so forth. Well, those are the moms and dads that buy for these kids, and we're just so thankful. And it's just so wonderful to see a weigh-in held here, because we'll see 150 teams plus, and the kids just have such a future in fishing, because it's something you can do for the rest of your life, male or female.
Absolutely. Mr. Joe, we thank you so much.
Oh.
Not only do they have boats here, guys, I want to remind you they have a bait shop in the back. Man, great tackle.
Great service department.
Great service department and great tackle department. So we just want to just encourage all of our parents, all of the community to come to
Absolutely.
Bayou Outdoor Power Sports. They will meet your needs. They do a phenomenal job here, great staff, and we love them and we greatly appreciate them.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
People like you, Jerry McGallman, all of you guys just do such a wonderful job in promoting. To me, y'all spend a lot of time that's could be used for selfish time, but y'all put back into fishing what if everybody did what y'all did, this sport would even be bigger, and I don't know how it can get much bigger. But to emphasize, if we don't have what you want, whether it's used or new, or lower price to middle price, whatever it is, because of the way things are these days, we'll take your name and number and not pressure you. But if we get a used boat in that's in the $6,000 to $10,000 price range, one of me or my 5 guys will call you and just come out and look. If you don't like it, that's fine, but we'll take you on a demo, or we show you how we check the used boat out by doing compression check, lower unit. We don't want to sell something that's going to cause you problems. We want the kids to get out there and have fun, not have to go home and work on a boat.
That's right. That's right. Mr. Joe, we appreciate you.
Man, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And there we are. Hey, you did a good job with that.
Oh, well, thank you. You taught me well. You taught me well.
I don't think so. I if I remember right, I think you stand up in front of a group of people at least a few times a week generally and talk about stuff. So.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I do, yeah.
Sometimes, all right. Okay, so continuing on, and yeah, we appreciate Bayou Outdoors and all the sponsors associated with the league. Without folks like that and businesses like that, couldn't put this on, and the kids wouldn't have their cute jerseys with sponsors to have all the logos on and all that kind of stuff and look like little miniature professionals. So anyway, that's what's exciting about it to me, is seeing the kids have fun.
Yes.
Okay, and thank you, Miss Amanda Fullerton. She says, awesome video, guys. Thank you very much. We had fun making it. All right, so let's move on to weigh-in time. So let me flip our screen again here. And let me see if I can get it pulled up here. Okay, so we talked about boat check in the morning, all that kind of good stuff. Let's talk about sizes and limits. So it's 3 fish per team, correct?
Correct.
All right, and on the 4th fish, if they happen to, really get on them, 4th fish they have to cull, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so 3 fish only in the boat. 14-inch minimum length limit for largemouth, or for any bass, largemouth or spots, because there are spots in Toledo Bend. And that is Toledo Bend regulations. That's not a league deal, but you have to follow law, so it's 14 inches, correct?
That's correct.
All right.
The spot normally is 12 for Toledo Bend, but the league does 14 across the board.
Yeah.
So anything that comes across the scales must be at least 14 inches.
Okay. And then, of course, the official bump board is Golden Rule. We tell everybody, just be aware that different boards may measure a little differently. Even sometimes different Golden Rules measure slightly differently. So just be aware of that. And we've got in there, I think I accidentally left it in the rules, possessing fish within a slot limit on certain lakes is a violation of state law or whatever. We don't have to worry about a slot, just 14-inch minimum.
That's correct.
Okay. Again, first cast is at 6:15. Make sure that you have your running lights on until sunrise if you're running to your spot. So I think official sunrise is around 6:30-ish, give or take a couple of minutes. So, if you're on the water before then, legally you need to have those running lights on, and you have to follow the law or that's grounds to be DQ'd. Scales will open at 1:30, correct?
Correct. Scales will open at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And then scales, you must be checked in at the check-in table by 2:30 p.m.
Okay. And so when you come to the check-in table, again, you're going to be asked for your boat number. So you
Correct.
need to make sure whichever of the anglers, or if it's both of them coming up there, that they're aware of the boat number. Because they're going to be asked that, again, for safety, so we can check off and make sure everybody's off the water. Because if we don't have everybody checked in, then we're going to be making phone calls, sending text messages, trying to figure out, where everybody is. Make sure everybody's okay.
That is correct. And at the check-in table, Rex, is where they're going to receive the official weigh bag. They're not allowed to bring the fish to the scales in their own personal bag. They must use one of our league bags. So At that table, they will check in more likely with my wife, and let them know the number, and then at that point is where they'll receive an actual official weigh bag. If the line is long and we're out of bags, then they're going to stay in line there at that check-in table until the next bag is available.
Right. Speaking of time, so if they're not there by 2:30, what is the rule on that, and what's the penalty?
Yeah, so in the past we've done a minute per a pound per minute, but this year we had said that after 2:30 their fists do not count for that
Okay,
day.
so be
So
there by 2:30 by cell phone time. That's the official time.
that's correct. They have to be at not pulling into the parking lot at 2:30. They have to be checked in at the check-in table by 2:30.
Okay, and then again we got the location there that you can put in the address for the Oak Ridge SRA. It's 316 Oak Ridge Road, or on your maps just search Oak Ridge SRA, and it should bring that up. Let's see. And we also asked that in the actual weigh-in line, we only want the anglers, people helping with the tournament, or media, like if I'm standing over there taking pictures or whatever. Parents, please stand back and give them plenty of room. And you can stand back and, of course, as a parent, you can take pictures. Just make sure you're not crowding in the line. Sometimes that can be a challenge. Let's see. Again, all the team numbers listed. So, again, those are on the Facebook page. Now, I've got a map of the safety and boat check. Again, we're kind of flipping back to the morning time, and then we'll start wrapping up. Have your team number ready, your live well lids open. Here's the little highlighted area showing where the Market Basket grocery store parking lot is. Let's see if I can get my cute little pointer up there. Yeah, over here. Let's see if we scroll on down. This is the one for showing the SRA, and again, all the information's there if you want to print that out or take a look at it. All right. What else do we need to discuss, Mr. Nugent?
Brother, I think we've discussed everything that I can think of. Like I said, safety is everything. The wind picks up. Make sure that you're safe. You know how to operate. Make sure you're running on the boat rows. There's a lot of stumps in Toledo Bend, guys, and so if you're not on a boat row, do not take off across the lake like it's Cypress Lake. It's not a cross lake or a Cypress Lake. It's a boat row lake. So make sure you're on a boat row and you know that you're safe. If not, you may not have a lower unit by the end of the day. One other thing that we didn't discuss, but I have had a team or two ask about, especially on this lake, there's going to be at least a team or two that I'm aware of that they've asked, could they have the two anglers, their boat captain, and an extra dad or an extra person in the boat. One, for example, from our Benton team, I have a mom that's boat captain and she's boat captain on Toledo Bend. Matter of fact, she made a comment earlier, and I appreciate her. But it's a big lake, and the wind is crazy. So she asked, could she have the other student's dad or her older son in the boat? And we've allowed that. Our actual rules actually are kind of open ended. It just says you have to have at least three.
Right.
We were going to allow four people in the boat if you want to have two adults, two students. However, we must understand this. The only person that can help do anything with the fish, as far as netting fish, running trolling motor, fixing, backlashes, which all of that has to be done sitting down in the captain's seat, not standing on the deck. But the extra person is not allowed to do any of that activity. Strictly riding and watching. We cannot have two dads helping out where all the other boats are only going to have one person helping out. So just know if you have an extra person in the boat, they're not allowed to net fish, touch fish, cold fish, anything to do with fishing. They are strictly sitting down and watching.
And I would say that probably even extends to giving advice, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so just general chitter chatter throughout the day.
Yes, they're just hanging out.
Okay, and and Ashley, let's see, Mulcahy put up a comment, said she's been watching. We're glad to have you watching as well, Ashley. Great.
Yes.
All right. There's one other thing I want to mention, and this isn't associated directly with the junior league itself. So this particular tournament is not for points. It's not for anything to qualify for the championship. This is an extra tournament. It's an open tournament that Jeremy Gallman and the high school league, as well as Bayou Outdoors, are putting on, and it's going to be July the 14th and 17th. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning it here is 7th and 8th graders, as well as high schoolers, are allowed to fish. So we may have some anglers that might want to keep an eye out for this, that may want to end up fishing it. It's going to be on the Red River, and I know that makes a lot of people cringe. But it is going to be a 3-day tournament. 2 days you're guaranteed to be able to fish, and then there'll be a championship style Sunday. So it should be a little bit of fun and should be interesting. So we would encourage you to keep an eye out for more information coming on this, because 7th and 8th graders can fish.
That's right.
All right, Mr. Nugent, we have successfully done another Facebook Live, and I'm not going to check the last things off, but we've talked about all of that. Anything else we want to share before we end the show?
Man, we just want to thank all those sponsors that you see up on top above our heads there, and we can't do what we do without them. So thank you to all of our sponsors, and we're looking forward to a great weekend of fishing, and we're hoping that some big fish are caught this weekend on Toledo Bend.
Sounds like a plan. Oh, by the way, any of the parents watching, if you're not going to be on the water with your kids, but you'll be down there Saturday morning, we'll usually be eating breakfast at Toledo Town somewhere, sometime after the morning check-in. So feel free to swing by and grab breakfast, and we'll chat about fishing. All right. With that said, let's get out of here, Mr. Shane.
Appreciate you, Rex.
All right. Talk to you later.